Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Friday, September 3rd. I had a little accident today. If you can look here, I think I busted my nose. Check it out. So I went for my Friday morning run. I go early, 4:30 a.m. and running here on the streets of Manhattan in New York City. I tripped when I was running. I was on 5th Avenue up by Central Park. I don't know, I tripped over I guess the sidewalk. There was a little bit of a uplift in the sidewalk. I hit it. I went down, bam, right on my nose and right here on my head. I hit hard, man. I went down so fast. I didn't have time to break my fall much. I mean, my nose broke my fall. It started bleeding. I think I probably broke it. It's all right now. This hurts a little bit right here. I'm scuffed up, you see. But I'll live to run another day. Pretty sure anyway. And it's not the first time this has happened. I've had these accidents because I run in the dark and the streets are rough here, man. And actually one time it was worse. It happened up in Ithaca, New York. I was up there and I went for a run. That time was broad daylight, and when I used to run, I look out in front of me, and that day I was running the same kind of deal. There was like an uplift in the concrete. I went down hard, and I broke my nose in 2 places here. Had to have stitches. But now I look down like right down by my feet when I'm running to make sure that I don't see any irregularities in the pavement. But I guess I took my eyes off of that for a second, and I don't know. Anyway, boom, today. All right, let's talk a little bit. So the Dow sold off late, S&P down marginally, NASDAQ up again. Today we had the jobs number, and it was way off. It was a big miss. I mean, it came in at something like 235,000. I think they were expecting something like 750,000, 740,000, something like that. We kind of had an inkling or an idea when we saw the ADP payroll number on Wednesday. That was a big miss too. And I actually, if you remember, I put up a video on that. I said, it might be a warning about a weak number on Friday, which is exactly what happened. You go back, you can listen to that video that I have up here. So we have a weak number, but let's put this in perspective a little bit, because I went back and I did a little bit of research. And in the 5 years leading up to the pandemic, like March 2020, when the thing, when it really exploded and we had the shutdowns and everything like that. In the 5-year period leading up to that, the average monthly payroll number was plus 194K. So plus 194,000. For a 5-year period, okay, the average monthly payroll gain was 194,000. And if you think back pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, I mean, if we would have gotten a 235,000 payroll number, everybody would be cheering about that. Everybody would be saying, hey, that's fantastic, that's great, that's a strong number. So, I mean, as things now are returning back to sort of a pre-pandemic reality, okay, and we see a lot of, in the economic data, you see now we've bounced back in many data series to pre-pandemic levels. So, I mean, you could actually look at this as normal. I mean, when everything is kind of trending back towards a pre-pandemic status or reality, this is where we were. I mean, this would have actually been a strong payroll number, in the pre-pandemic days, because again, the average monthly gain was 194,000 and this was 235,000. The problem was that the estimates, the forecasts were so high. So of course, if you have forecasts that are so high and you come in way below those forecasts, it looks like a terrible and it looks like a weak number. And maybe it is a weak number. I mean, we have seen, the surge in cases, the Delta variant and all that stuff. So that has had an impact. The other thing is that monthly spending, government spending. So I just looked at this, all right? I think in March we had something like 930 billion for the month. It was huge. It was a huge month. April and May, they were down. June was at 720 billion. July was at 665 billion. And August, which just concluded, was at 631 billion. So you see the trend is going down. Now, again, these are big numbers. I mean, if you go back to pre-pandemic, we were running about, 400 billion a month was huge. We looked at that and used to say, well, that's enormous. That is huge. So these are, comparatively even bigger, like way bigger, like 50% bigger than what we used to think was like, hey, that was a big month, 400 billion or 500 billion. So I'm thinking, even with the slowdown in unemployment benefits, which is coming up, okay? Monday is Labor Day. The benefits are stopping. We are going to see a slowdown in the flows, I suspect. That was happening. And I was talking about that over the last few days. But now I'm wondering whether or not, hey, if we go down to 600 billion a month, that's still a huge number. That is still a huge number, and it's a number that very likely can just sustain things the way they are, and that would include the stock market. Now, hold on, I'm not flip-flopping, okay? I'm not flip-flopping. I have a short position on right now, or a defensive position on right now, and I'm going to stick with that for the moment. I really want to see what those the cuts in those unemployment benefits are going to look like from a fiscal flow perspective. But again, if the numbers tell me that we're holding steady or moving back up, then I got to go with that. You got to get back into a bullish posture. But for now, I'm holding on to that short or defensive position. And again, you got the debt ceiling coming up. I think we probably have another month, maybe 6 weeks at best, where Yellen can operate Treasury, making regular payments under, special conditions. And if not, things are not going to get paid. All right. And you also have that Democratic 3.5 trillion, the Biden 3.5 trillion infrastructure. Look, we don't need, 3.5 trillion would be incredible. Even some percentage of that, if it's cut, and it looks like, it doesn't look like it's going to fly at 3.5 trillion because you got Democrats against it. You got Joe Manchin against it. You got Kristen Sinema of Arizona against it. It just doesn't look like it's going to fly at 3.5 trillion. But any addition from here, like I said, if we're running at 600 billion a month, any addition from here that offsets the drag from unemployment benefits, we're still going to be on an upward trajectory. But let's take it day by day. Right now, I'm calling a cautious tone, and I want to heal up. So have a good weekend, everybody. See you on Monday. Bye-bye. And have a great Labor Day weekend, too. It's a long weekend, but I'll be around. Bye.